Ladies and gentlemen, today I want to speak to the soul of someone who has been overlooked, undervalued, and misunderstood. To the woman who has given all she had and received little in return. To the woman who loves deeply but feels like love escapes her in return. This is for you. The pain of rejection is a wound, doesn't always bleed outwardly. It cuts deep, leaving scars on the heart that can take years to heal. For the woman who feels unloved, this pain is a familiar companion, one that whispers lies about her worth and tries to steal her joy. It's the sting of being overlooked, the ache of being misunderstood, and the silent grief of giving love to those who fail to return it. It's a pain that lingers long after the moment has passed, shaping how she sees herself and the world around her. Rejection isn't always loud. It doesn't always announce itself with harsh words or dramatic exits. Sometimes it's in the subtle absence of appreciation, in the silence where validation should have been. It's in the half-hearted gestures, the indifference, and the way people take her presence for granted. She might not even notice it at first, brushing off the small signs and telling herself she's imagining things. But over time, the weight of being unseen and unheard begins to press down on her spirit. This kind of pain doesn't just affect her relationships with others, it begins to affect her relationship with herself. She starts to question if she's enough, if she's beautiful enough, smart enough, or deserving enough. She wonders what she's doing wrong, replaying moments in her mind, searching for where she might have failed. And in the quiet hours of the night, when the world is still, the questions turn into tears and the tears turn into doubts. But the cruelest thing about rejection is that it doesn't stop with the past. It tries to reach into her future, convincing her that she will never be truly loved. It plants seeds of fear, making her hesitant to open her heart again. It tells her that if she risks being vulnerable, she'll only be hurt once more. And so she builds walls not because she doesn't want love, but because she can't bear the thought of being hurt again. Yet, even in this pain, there is a glimmer of truth waiting to be uncovered. The pain of rejection, though devastating, is not the final word. It's not the conclusion of her story. This pain, as deep and as real as it feels, is an opportunity. It's an invitation to look inward and recognize the lies for what they are. Rejection is not a reflection of her value, but rather a mirror revealing the limitations of those who couldn't love her properly. The truth is, being unloved by others does not mean she is unlovable. It means she was surrounded by people who were unable or unwilling to see her for who she truly is. Their inability to recognize her worth doesn't diminish her value any more than a cloudy day diminishes the sun's brilliance. She is still radiant, still worthy, still more than enough. What she must come to realize is that the pain of rejection is not meant to break her, it's meant to build her. It's a refining fire, burning away the need for external validation and teaching her to find her worth within. It's a painful but necessary step in her journey toward becoming the woman she was always meant to be, a woman who loves herself fiercely, who knows her value, and who refuses to settle for less than she deserves. The pain may feel overwhelming now, but it is not permanent. Healing is possible, and so is hope. With time, courage, and grace, she will learn to see rejection not as a curse, but as a redirection, a path leading her away from people and places that were never meant for her. And when she emerges from this season, she will be stronger, wiser, and ready to embrace the love she has always deserved. Because love, true love, is still waiting for her, and when it comes, it will erase every doubt and heal every wound. Your worth is not up for debate. It is not a question, not a negotiation, and certainly not something others get to determine. Your value as a person, your intrinsic worth, was established the moment you were created. Before you ever spoke a word, achieved a goal, or did anything to earn approval, you are already enough. You are enough in your imperfection, enough in your struggles, and enough in the very essence of who you are. But life has a way of challenging this truth, doesn't it? The world often teaches us to measure our worth by external standards, by how we look, what we do, and who chooses to affirm us. Society whispers that you're only valuable if you meet certain expectations, if you fit into a particular mold, or if someone else validates you. And for the woman who feels unloved, those whispers can turn into deafening roars. They can make her feel small, inadequate, and invisible. It's easy to believe the lie that your worth is tied to how others treat you when you've been overlooked, dismissed, or mistreated. It's tempting to think that the problem lies with you. You start to wonder if you're not smart enough, not pretty enough, or not good enough to deserve the love and respect you long for. And in those moments of self-doubt, you may even begin to shrink, dimming your light in the hope that doing so will make you more acceptable. But the truth is this: your worth does not come from the approval of others. It does not come from their recognition, their acceptance, or their love. Your worth is inherent. It is woven into the fabric of your being, and nothing, absolutely nothing, can take it away. You were created with purpose, with intention, and with love. The rejection of others does not diminish your value. It simply reflects their inability to see what has always been there. Think about this: a diamond doesn't lose its brilliance just because someone fails to notice it. Its value remains constant whether it's buried in the earth or displayed in a museum. The same is true for you. You are not diminished because someone fails to appreciate your kindness, your strength, or your beauty. Their failure to see your worth says nothing about you and everything about them. The challenge then is to reclaim your sense of worth from the hands of others and place it firmly where it belongs, in your own heart. It's about recognizing that you are whole and complete just as you are. You don't need to perform, to earn, or to prove anything to be valuable. You already are. This understanding is liberating. It allows you to stop chasing after the approval of people who will never see you for who you truly are. It frees you from the exhausting cycle of trying to be enough for everyone else. And it gives you permission to focus on being enough for yourself. When you embrace your intrinsic worth, you stop settling for less than you deserve. You stop allowing others to dictate how you see yourself. Instead, you stand tall, knowing that your value is not determined by their opinions or actions. You begin to treat yourself with the love and respect you've always deserved, and in doing so, you set the standard for how others should treat you as well. This journey isn't always easy. It takes courage to silence the voices that tell you you're not enough. It takes strength to look in the mirror and declare your worth when everything around you tries to convince you otherwise. But the reward is worth it: a life lived in the fullness of your true identity. You're valuable, you are worthy, and no matter who fails to see it, nothing will ever change that truth. There is a comfort and a power in knowing that you are seen, loved, and affirmed by the one who created you. Divine affirmation is not just an idea, it is a truth that transforms. In a world that often overlooks and undervalues, God sees you completely, understands you fully, and loves you unconditionally. This love is not based on what you do, how you look, or even how others perceive you. It is rooted in who He is and who He made you to be. When you feel unloved by the people around you, it's easy to wonder if anyone truly sees your pain. You may ask, does anyone notice my struggles? Does anyone care about the tears I cry when no one is watching? Let me assure you, you are not invisible. The God who formed you in the quiet of your mother's womb sees every detail of your life. He knows the battles you fight, the fears you carry, and the dreams you hold close to your heart. Not a single moment of your life escapes His notice. God's affirmation goes beyond seeing you. It is a declaration of your worth. Long before anyone had an opinion about you, God spoke over your life, calling you fearfully and wonderfully made. His words are not empty. They are powerful, unchanging, and eternal. So when He calls you His beloved, it is not a fleeting sentiment. It is a statement that remains true regardless of how others treat you. This divine affirmation is not something you have to earn. It is a gift freely given. You don't have to perform or prove yourself to receive God's love. You don't have to reach a certain level of perfection or achieve certain milestones. God loves you in your brokenness, in your mess, and even in your moments of doubt. His love is steady, unshaken by your flaws or failures. For the woman who feels rejected or unloved, this truth can be a lifeline. When the voices of the world tell you that you are not enough, God's voice cuts through the noise, reminding you that you are His masterpiece. When others fail to see your beauty, God sees the brilliance He placed within you. When you feel like no one else is in your corner, God stands as your greatest advocate, always for you and never against you. God's affirmation also brings healing. The wounds of rejection can leave scars, but his love has the power to restore what has been broken. He gathers every piece of your heart and tenderly mends it, reminding you that your story is far from over. His love replaces fear with courage, despair with hope, and insecurity with confidence. In his presence, you find a love that fills the emptiness others have left behind. More than that, divine affirmation gives you purpose. You are not here by accident. Your life is not a random collection of moments. God created you with intention, giving you gifts, talents, and a unique calling that only you can fulfill. Even when you feel overlooked, he is working behind the scenes, aligning circumstances and preparing you for what lies ahead. The rejection you've experienced is not a detour, it's a redirection, leading you closer to the purpose he has for you. When you embrace this truth, everything changes. You begin to see yourself as God sees you, not through the lens of rejection, but through the lens of love and purpose. You walk with a confidence that isn't tied to the approval of others, but rooted in the knowledge that you are deeply and irrevocably loved. So lift your head, woman of worth. Let the love of God surround you, heal you, and affirm you. Let his words define you, not the image of others. You are chosen, you are cherished, you are enough. And in God's eyes, you have always been more than enough. Pain has a way of making us feel stuck, as though we are trapped in a season of darkness with no end in sight. It whispers lies that tell us our suffering is meaningless, that our struggles have no purpose. But the truth is far different. There is purpose in your pain, even if you cannot see it yet. Every tear you've cried, every sleepless night, every heartache you've endured is not wasted. It's part of a greater story, one that is shaping you into someone stronger, wiser, and more resilient. Pain is never pleasant, and it often feels unfair. You may find yourself asking, why me? Why do I have to go through this? Those questions are natural, but they are not the end of the conversation. Pain, as cruel as it feels in the moment, is often the soil where purpose takes root. It pushes you to grow in ways you never thought possible, to reach deeper into your soul and discover strength you didn't know you had. Life has a way of teaching through adversity. Pain challenges us, stretches us, and refines us. Like gold tested in fire, you are being purified by the trials you face. Fire is not meant to destroy you, but to remove what is no longer serving you. The things you thought you couldn't live without the approval of others, the comfort of familiarity, the fear of change are being stripped away to reveal your true self. This process is painful, but it is also necessary. Without the fire, the brilliance of the gold within you would never be revealed. Pain also has a way of redirecting us. Sometimes what feels like a rejection is really a redirection. The closed door you're mourning may be God's way of steering you toward a path that is better aligned with your destiny. The relationship that ended, the opportunity that slipped through your fingers, the disappointment that broke your heart, they are not the end of your story. They are stepping stones guiding you towards something greater. What you see as a setback, God sees as a setup for a breakthrough. But beyond growth and redirection, pain connects you to others. Your story, as difficult as it may feel, has the power to inspire and uplift someone else. The struggles you endure equip you with compassion and empathy, giving you the ability to walk alongside others in their moments of need. Your pain becomes a bridge, creating connections that are rooted in understanding and authenticity. You may not realize it now, but your ability to overcome will become a source of hope for others who are walking a similar path. Purpose in pain does not mean you have to enjoy suffering. It doesn't mean you ignore your feelings or pretend everything is fine. It means you acknowledge the reality of your struggles while trusting that they serve a greater purpose. It means allowing your pain to teach you, to strengthen you, and to transform you. It's about holding on to hope even when the night feels endless, knowing that morning will come. And morning will come. The pain you are experiencing now is temporary, but the growth it produces is eternal. Every scar you bear tells a story of survival, of perseverance, of overcoming. You are being prepared for something greater than you can imagine, something that will make every moment of suffering worth it. So don't let pain have the final say. Let it be the catalyst that propels you forward. Let it be the teacher that shapes your character. Let it be the reminder that you are capable of enduring more than you thought possible. And most of all, let it be the proof that your story is still unfolding, that your purpose is still being revealed, and that your best days are yet to come. You are not defined by your pain, you are refined by it, and through it all, you are becoming exactly who you were meant to be. Empowerment and resilience are not qualities you're born with, they are forged in the fires of life's trials and tribulations. They are the result of choosing again and again to rise after every fall, to move forward, even when the weight of rejection, heartbreak, or failure feels too heavy to bear. Empowerment is not simply a feeling, it's a decision. Resilience is not just enduring pain, it's transforming that pain into strength. Life will throw challenges your way that make you question your worth, your purpose, and your ability to endure. You may face rejection that feels personal, failures that seem final, and losses that threaten to break you. But resilience whispers, this is not the end. It reminds you that within you lies the power to rise, no matter how many times life tries to knock you down. Empowerment begins with a choice to stop waiting for someone else to validate you, rescue you, or make things right. It's the realization that you hold the pen to your story, that you are not a victim of circumstance, but a victor over it. Empowerment says, I refuse to be defined by what has happened to me. It's reclaiming your power, taking control of your narrative, and stepping into the fullness of who you are meant to be. Resilience is the companion to empowerment. It's the grit and determination that keep you moving forward, even when the path ahead is unclear. Resilience doesn't mean you never feel pain. It means you refuse to let pain paralyze you. It means you acknowledge the hurt, process it, and then use it as fuel to propel you toward your goals. Resilience is rooted in the understanding that failure is not final and rejection is not a reflection of your worth. Building empowerment and resilience often begins in the quiet moments when no one else is watching, when the applause is absent, and when the challenges feel insurmountable. It's in those moments that you dig deep, remind yourself of your worth, and resolve to keep going. It's in those moments that you learn to be your own advocate, your own cheerleader, and your own source of strength. One of the most powerful aspects of empowerment is recognizing that your strength doesn't come from an absence of challenges, but from your ability to face and overcome them. The struggles you endure are not setbacks, they are setups for growth. Every time you rise after a fall, you grow stronger. Every time you push through doubt, fear, or uncertainty, you become more resilient. And every time you choose to believe in yourself, despite the voices that say you shouldn't, you empower yourself to live authentically and boldly. Empowerment and resilience are not solitary pursuits. They are often built in community through relationships with people who inspire, challenge, and support you. Surrounding yourself with those who see your potential and encourage your growth can be a powerful catalyst. But just as important is learning to stand alone when necessary, to find strength within yourself when external support is unavailable. As you grow in empowerment and resilience, you begin to see setbacks not as roadblocks, but as opportunities to learn and pivot. You stop fearing failure and start embracing it as a natural part of growth. You develop the courage to say no to what no longer serves you and yes to the opportunities that align with your purpose. You no longer settle for less than you deserve because you know your value and you trust in your ability to thrive. You are more powerful than you realize. Your resilience is proof that you can weather the storms of life, and your empowerment is the key to unlocking the limitless potential within you. Step boldly into the challenges before you, not because you are unafraid, but because you are strong enough to face your fears. The journey will not always be easy, but every step will bring you closer to the life you were meant to live, one of purpose, strength, and undeniable brilliance. Hope for redemption is the light that breaks through even the darkest seasons of life. It's the belief that no matter how deep the wounds, how far you've fallen, or how broken your heart feels, there is still a way forward, a way to heal, to grow, and to experience joy again. Redemption is not just about recovering what was lost, it's about being transformed through the process, becoming stronger, wiser, and more whole. For the woman who feels unloved or forgotten, hope for redemption can seem distant, even impossible. When you've been hurt repeatedly, it's easy to let despair settle in, to think that your story has already been written and that the ending will always be marked by pain. But redemption says otherwise. Redemption says this is not the end. There is more for you. Redemption doesn't erase the past, but it redefines it. The broken pieces of your life, the disappointments, and the heartaches are not discarded. They are woven into something beautiful. Redemption takes what was meant to harm you and uses it to strengthen you. It transforms ashes into beauty and mourning into joy. It doesn't deny the reality of your pain, but it promises that the pain will not have the final say. Hope for redemption begins with the belief that change is possible. It's the belief that you are not stuck in your current circumstances, no matter how overwhelming they feel. Your life is dynamic, not static, and every day is a new opportunity for growth and healing. Redemption often starts small, a glimmer of hope, a moment of clarity, or a single step forward. These small beginnings are seeds, and with time and care, they grow into something greater than you could have imagined. The redemption is deeply personal, yet it often comes through connection. The love and grace of others can serve as reminders that you are worthy and valuable, even when you've forgotten it yourself. Sometimes redemption comes through unexpected relationships, moments of kindness, or words of encouragement that reignite the hope you thought was gone. At other times, it comes through solitude, through the quiet moments when you begin to rebuild your relationship with yourself and, for many, with God. Spiritual redemption is a powerful force. It's the assurance that no mistake, no failure, and no rejection can separate you from God's love. It's the promise that even when you feel unworthy, God sees you as worthy of love, grace, and restoration. His love doesn't just redeem your circumstances, it redeems your identity, reminding you of who you truly are, a beloved creation, chosen and cherished. The journey of redemption is not always easy. It requires patience, courage, and faith. There will be days when hope feels far away, when the weight of the past threatens to pull you under. But redemption is not a one-time event, it's a process. It's a journey of letting go of what no longer serves you, forgiving yourself and others, and choosing to believe that better days are ahead. The beauty of redemption is that it often exceeds our expectations. What you thought was lost forever can return to you in new and unexpected ways. The love you longed for, the joy you thought you'd never feel again, the dreams you gave up on, they have a way of finding you when you least expect it. Redemption restores not just what you had, but often gives you more than you ever imagined. So hold on to hope, even when it feels fragile. Redemption is not just a possibility, it's a promise. Your story is not over, and your best days are still ahead. You are not defined by the pain of your past, but by the strength of your spirit and the endless potential of your future. What was broken can be rebuilt, what was lost can be found, and what feels impossible can become your reality. Redemption is waiting for you. Trust in it, believe in it, and let it transform your life.